9/11. I was at school, actually, at West Hill High School in Stamford. It was my freshman year, and I had just finished my third period class, which was English. And as I was walking down the hall, I overheard a conversation with two other students saying that a plane had crashed in New York, one of the Twin Towers. And I just thought, that only happens in movies. That can't happen. You guys are out of your minds. And I proceeded to walk towards my class. And on my way, I passed the school library that I noticed a whole crowd of kids were surrounding a TV set. And I walked into the library and wanted to see what it was that they were looking at. And then I saw the footage of the North Tower shrouded in smoke. And just right at the corner of my eye as I was looking, the second plane hit. The screams were just deafening, and I was just shocked. Just completely shocked. And then I started thinking about my dad, who was a news cameraman for ABC7 Eyewitness News, and I knew that he was going to be covering this. And so I started worrying about whether he was safe. And after I had finished my lunch, I went to my resource class, and I overheard on the radio, because my teacher kept a radio in her classroom, and I overheard the reporters saying both towers are down. And I was like, what do you mean both towers are down? And I just continued listening, and I heard again, both towers of the World Trade Center have collapsed. And it was just hard for me to just comprehend this whole thing. It was just hard for me to fathom what had happened. And I called my mom on my educational assistant's cell phone and asked if she had heard from him. And she said, no, I didn't, but I have to go pick up your little sister from school because they're letting some kids out early today. Well, that really didn't help a great deal, because I still kept thinking about him. And when I got home, I didn't hear from him. And all I was doing the rest of the day was just looking at the continuous footage of both planes hitting the towers, and of course it was later that I heard that the Pentagon had been hit, and that there was a crash in Pennsylvania, in Shanksville. The day after the attacks, I finally heard from my dad. He told me that he was blocks away when the towers went down, and that he was going to be fine. But he was pretty shook up by what he had seen. Weeks later, after the attacks, I had this idea that at some point during the future that I wanted to do a film about 9/11 as a dedication to the memories of the victims of this terrible attack. And because originally I thought about, doing films for younger viewers, like, Ghostbusters or Raiders or Wizard of Oz, whatever. And I was just so impacted by this event, and that it had happened before my eyes. It just created such a huge impact on me psychologically, and that there have been so many stories on this day that have yet to be told, and I really felt that some of those stories need to be told. And I just thought that it would be such a huge responsibility for me to take on something like that. But I hope someday, when I become a filmmaker, that I'm able to do something like that, because it would be a huge privilege for me to pay tribute to the memories of those innocent people who have been killed by just random acts of terror. That's pretty much what happened to me on September 11th.